I'm really glad to have you here. You have some interesting thoughts on the real-world sticking points of omnichannel retail, in which shoppers might start online but finish in the store.
Yeah, very much so. I think there's real potential in kind of getting that right? A lot of folks start their journey online, searching for cars, identifying the options, and there's a lot more options to even complete parts of the journey online, but ultimately it gets fulfilled at the dealer for majority of the brands. And I think that handover moment from what I do online to what I do at the dealer, there's still a lot of room for improvement.
A lot of room, a lot of customer frustration when that doesn't get handled right. If you have to run your credit report a second time, or
Exactly.
just share all your input, all your information about yourself or about what you want to buy.
Exactly. And I think a lot of it is actually the technological integration between the solutions that the OEMs put in place on digital retail and how the dealers run their store with their DMS and their CRM. So those two systems really have to work together to create a more seamless experience.
How does that get fixed then?
I think the parties really have to come together, right? The tool landscape is very, very fragmented. If I'm a dealer, I probably have 10, 12, 15 different solutions running for inventory management, for CRM, for my website. So that kind of patchwork, creating a more seamless experience, really has to start from there. And the second part is the kind of the sales rep experience, right? Getting the tools in place, but also having the sales rep treat it as a journey that the customer is on,
right,
not a journey that starts the moment they show up at the store.
Yeah, it's the customer's journey, not their journey as the salesperson.
Exactly.
So in this, accepting that some portion of most sales are done digitally, less of the work has to be done in stores, in person, does the retail footprint need to change?
Probably not that significantly. I actually find it interesting if you look at Europe, where agency model is getting a lot of traction. I think it's really interesting because it's kind of a best of both worlds. It gives the OEMs a little bit more control to have a more consistent experience and more consistent pricing, but the fulfillment still happens at a local store where you have that relationship where you also do your service.
Right.
And I think we're not going to see agency in the US. The franchise laws are very clear, right? If you are in a franchise, you're going to stay in a franchise. But I think if we can bring some of those elements more into the mix, I think that will be a win-win for both dealers and OEMs.
I guess, with some brands wanting to go direct to consumer, and I think maybe based on the Tesla experience, there are some shoppers who prefer that digital-only experience. But so I do wonder whether the people are digital-only or just omni-channel, if maybe the needs of the facilities have to change.
I think they will. So at BCG, we talk about it, there's kind of two segments of the market, and it's roughly 80-20. There's like 20% of the market that is happy to clear fully online. That's where Carvana plays in, that's where the Tesla plays in, right? There is a group of the market that is happy to transact fully online, but the other 80% actually want to touch the car, do the test drive, see the car, especially on the used car side. You want to get a real good read of the condition of the car. So there is room for a digital-only model, but it's a portion of the market, not the majority.
Yesterday at our retail forum, one of the dealers who was speaking, was really beseeching other dealers to keep and use their data. Even if they're just a standalone store and not a big public group that has all kinds of IT resources, that they can still maximize what they have. Is that a commonly missed opportunity?
I believe so. I don't want to be too critical, but I think there's a lot of kind of old school thinking of, I know my market, I know my customer, I don't need to look at data. But data is your friend, right? I think we've seen a lot of examples for our customers or our clients where if you look at the data to look at, okay, what is the average speed of sale of different configurations? How should I change what I order? How should I change what I stock? That can also unlock actually higher profit margins, right? If you have faster turning inventory, you have to spend less on incentives. So I think looking at the data is really an unlock, that there's just a little bit of a cultural barrier of, well, we never used it in the past, we never needed that before. But I think getting that unlock can be worth real dollars on the bottom line.
Some of the big public dealer groups have started to look outside of auto retailing for other opportunities for growth, whether it's in software or in retailing other types of similar types of products, RVs and motorsports, for instance. Is that something that private groups could follow as well?
I don't know if you want to proliferate too much in the types of vehicles you sell, but I think even within the passenger vehicle market, there's kind of adjacent opportunities with charging, for example, right? Not just thinking about what's my minimum demand so I can charge the cars I'm trying to sell, but can I create a opportunity for customers to come to my store to charge, and I have eyeballs, right? It's another touch point for 15, 20 minutes, have folks at the store. Maybe there's an upsell opportunity on the service side, upsell opportunity on accessory side. And I think there's also a really interesting opportunity around this kind of short-term rental, right? If you have these loaner fleets at the dealership, you have the inventory already. It's not 100% utilized. If you can monetize that, that's net upside with very limited investment.
Interesting. You mentioned charging. I guess my first thought is dealers have such an opportunity to be the providers of the electrician service that to install charging in people's garages and make sure that the wiring there is all right, or at least to be maybe gain some referral business by contracting with trusted partners.
At a minimum, be an enabler, right? Because I think coming back to the customer is on a journey. They've spent hours doing their research. They're finally at the store. Currently, in 2024, we still see that the EV buyer usually knows a little bit more than the sales rep they're talking to because they've done the homework.
Yeah.
But if you can really put yourself in the customer's shoes, what are the questions you have when you buy your first EV, right? It's like, what's the range? How does it work with my daily commute? Can I visit grandma? Do I charge it at home, or can I charge it at work? So thinking through what are those key pain points, and having a solution, either your own or making the introduction of, hey, we can take care of that for you. I think that'll go a long way in having loyalty, which ultimately is one of the key metrics dealers go for, right?
Augustin Wegscheider is a retail expert at BCG. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Thanks so much, Jamie. Appreciate it.